Hey, it's Clayton Olson. In this video, I'm going to talk about the hidden question that may be running your life. Now, I'm really excited about this content because it's something that I discovered on my path. I heard about it in theory, and then I discovered it over the last 5 months during COVID. And it's been something that is prevalent in my conversations with my coaching clients. I look back at my life and I see the experiences where I was thriving or where I was having a hard experience. And this concept was always present. So as I dive into this, notice where it can apply to your life. And at the end, I'm going to give you an idea of some of the silent questions you might be asking that are creating your current experience, and some of the questions that you may begin to ask that can have you create a new experience. So hang with me here. I've got a couple notes that I'm going to read from, and just to open up and introduce this concept. So if your current experience of life was the answer to a question, what do you think that question would be? Now, I know that's a strange question to get your head around here, but we are constantly asking ourselves questions, consciously and unconsciously. And the nature of these questions that we ask ourselves determine how we experience life. Tony Robbins said that the quality of questions that one asks themselves determines the quality of their life. Our questions, they determine our way of being, the way that we show up in life. And these hidden questions are so important that they can actually make or break your life. They dictate whether life is a wonderful journey or a scary, stressful venture that where you are consistently expecting the worst to happen. So if we ask disempowering questions about life over and over again, we're going to experience a disempowering way of being. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling confused, anxious, overwhelmed on a consistent basis, whether that's just in life or whether that's in your relationships and dating, most likely you have been silently asking a question. Your subconscious has been asking a question that is actually creating your experience. It's determining, it's creating the way in which you are seeing the world, and it's having your brain, the supercomputer between your ears, look out into the world and find evidence or an answer to that question. So let's actually ground this. I've talked a little bit about theory here. I want to ground this into something that's happened in my life. So about 15 years ago, I moved to Colorado. And for the last several years, I've been thinking about moving. And as I started contemplating this move, I started asking a set of questions that actually supported my moving, whether I knew it or not. The questions were, how much longer am I going to be here? Why isn't Colorado more lush and beautiful and look like pictures of the Pacific Northwest? Does this place really still have anything to offer me at this point? And as I asked these questions repeatedly, I noticed that my view, my literal view of Colorado actually started to change. What was really happening was my subconscious began to look for evidence to support getting the answers to those questions, which were setting up a negative frame around the state. So as a result, Colorado started to look old, stale, and I was unable to really appreciate the beauty of Colorado any longer. It became very commonplace to me. Then, about 5 months ago, COVID hit. And I took moving out of Colorado off the table because I just thought it might be best to let the dust settle before I started trying to leave the state. Now, two things happened as a result of me deciding to stay in Colorado, which actually changed my focus. Number one, I recommitted to Colorado. I decided that I wasn't just going to leave yet. And this commitment to not change my external circumstance provided the foundation for me to do the second part, which is I needed to start asking different questions about the state so that I could have a different experience of it and not feel like I'm trapped here. The new questions that I started asking as I began to explore the Front Range again with new eyes were, I wonder what kind of hidden hiking trails are in this area that I haven't seen yet. I wonder what new neighborhoods I haven't explored yet on my bike. How is that coffee shop that I've never been to? What would it be like to explore this part of the state and go camping over here? If I decided to move closer to the foothills at some point, what would it be like to wake up and see the sunrise or see the sunset at night? Now, after a few weeks of feeling into these questions, something miraculous happened. I actually started to see Colorado with new eyes again. And I started noticing the beauty and the power of this state in a way that I had not experienced it since 15 years ago. For the longest time, I thought there was only about 3 good hiking trails up and down the Front Range. And I know that's naive, but through asking different questions, I suddenly started to discover these new hiking trails that there was dozens of them. They were gorgeous. Some of the ones that I could not believe they were 20 minutes from my back door, and I had never seen them living here over a decade. So did Colorado actually change? No, not at all. But this phenomena once again proved to me that the world happens from the inside out rather than the outside in. The nature of our thoughts, our judgments, and the questions that we ask ourselves color and shape the way something outside of us occurs to us. So because I committed to staying, I had new reasons to examine the questions I was asking myself that made Colorado feel lackluster and old. This commitment to Colorado provided the boundaries in order for the change to happen. I couldn't run away. And if I wanted a better experience, the only place I could go was inside to reframe the way that I was seeing it. So here's the question to you. If a new set of questions that are occurring on the inside for me or the inside for you can completely shift the way that I saw Colorado, what kind of impact do you believe new questions will have on your ability to create the relationship, the business, or the purpose that you want in your life? How will it redefine the situation, the circumstances that you're currently in? So the first step in this process is to begin to bring awareness to the hidden questions that you're already asking that are keeping you stuck or creating an unwanted experience. So think about that for a moment. What questions are you living under? What questions are you asking yourself on a regular basis that your current experience is the answer to? Just think about that for a moment. So maybe you're in a relationship right now and it doesn't have the same type of feelings that it once did. Maybe COVID has brought to light some differences between you and you're forced to navigate these differences in new ways. Does that mean it's time to leave the relationship, or does that mean it's time to ask different questions? Maybe you're doing work right now that isn't lighting you up anymore. Is it your actual job that's not giving you life? Or is it the questions you're entertaining that aren't giving you life? Is it the state, the city, the country that isn't providing this life-giving experience anymore? Or is it the unwillingness to see things with new eyes and a fresh set of questions to awaken a newfound appreciation? So here are some common questions that I see my clients that I work with asking. Now, sometimes they're aware of these questions and sometimes they're just kind of sitting there in the background that are dictating almost like a rudder, like on a boat, the direction the person's moving and the experience they're having. So if they're in a relationship, they might be asking something like, is this over? Which is their brain looking for negative evidence. Does he really love me? Doubting their own worth. It's creating a doubt around your own worth. Am I sure I'm with the right person? Okay, this is creating doubt around your perception. Am I going to be single forever? This is doubting life's plan, compromising trust with life. Do I really have what it takes to follow my dreams? Doubting your power. How do I stop X, Y, or Z? So rather than focusing on what you want, you're focusing on what you're trying to stop, which is actually creating more of the negative. When is the other shoe going to drop? That's a big one that I see with clients. Things start to go really well, and suddenly it starts to feel like they've hit this almost like upper limit ceiling where the experience they're having is so good that they become suspicious of it, and they think, oh my God, something bad's going to happen. When's the other shoe going to drop? Which is not trusting life. It creates more not trusting of life through that question. Why can't I get what I want? Which is reinforcing stuckness. Looking for evidence, right? If I'm answering that question, why can't I get what I want? I'm going to find all the evidence around what might be wrong with me, what might be wrong with the situation, why I'm limited, to help me understand why I can't get what I want, which is disempowering. So these questions don't create an expansiveness that allows you to see yourself or whomever you're acting with through a loving lens. Instead, they create more doubt, inertia, and a lack of trust in life or yourself. So for a moment, let's wipe those away and let's imagine asking a new set of questions and just notice how these ones land in your body instead. What can I appreciate about this person? What can I appreciate about this person? This actually creates gratitude. It has you your brain go out and look for gratitude and appreciation around your current circumstance. What is here for me to learn in this? Now we're using our mind to look for gems, insights, and maybe the hidden curriculum that we're in the midst of a tragedy. What's exciting about this? What's exciting about this? I know that there have been times during the pandemic with the transition that we are in as a culture. It's been weighing really heavy on me. And asking that question of what's exciting about this in some ways began to have me be more hopeful and look for opportunities and look for ways in which things are going to change for the better. So that question creates aliveness. What are the new places I can explore with my partner in the city, in myself, that I haven't yet? This creates curiosity. One of the greatest gifts we can give somebody is helping them learn how to ask better questions in their life, because the questions that we ask on a regular basis truly do determine the experience that we create and then live into. So as an invitation, I'd love for you to take a step back from this video and begin to examine what are the questions that I am consistently asking in my life that are creating my experience. Maybe what you'll notice is you can take two different vectors. You can look at the experiences in which you feel stuck. What are the questions that you're consistently asking there? And by way of contrast, you can look for an area in your life where you feel free, where you feel empowered, and notice the type of questions that you ask there. And what if you began to ask more directed, intentional, empowering questions that had you move into a place of feeling like a creator and feeling more free? How would that affect over time those situations and circumstances in which you used to feel stuck? So that's the question that I'd love to leave you with, and an idea to begin to ponder after this video. And if you're looking for any type of support and you'd like me as your guide, someone to walk next to you along this path to help you build the muscle of asking more empowering questions and live life from a place of freedom and power rather than limitation, whether that's in your relationships, whether that's in your dating, whether that's in you developing a deeper relationship with yourself so you can feel more trusting and secure, feel free to shoot me an email. I'm going to put that in the description below. Leave a comment, like the video, share it, and thank you for your attention.